So funny. I'm not really used to speaking with a mic because I'm an actor, so I'm so used to just projecting my voice normally, so I have to hold a mic this time to speak. Okay, 2 hours. I have to keep you entertained for 2 hours. Damn, it's a long time. It's a long time. So first of all, let me introduce myself correctly so you guys know what I do and what we're going to cover. So first of all, my name is Ruele. So that is my first name and my middle name, and that's why I use my performance. I have my colleague here, my good friend Robin Berry, and we are originally actors. So when I say originally actors, it means that what we do now is more in the scale of our organization and our business, but the main thing that we came from is the acting background. So we've done our thing as actors, and we still do, and I will tell you some of the stuff that I worked on and what I've currently worked on that's still in cinema. But that's what we started as. And today I'm going to go through a couple of things today. I'm going to do my best to make it as interesting as possible. Don't worry if you start closing your eyes. I'm not one of these people like, you got to stay awake for this. All right? No, I'm not like that. All right? So what we're going to discuss first is about what I do. And what I do is with my company called Creature Bionics. Now, Creature Bionics is the first of its kind. And what I mean is it's a character production company that specializes in creature and fantasy character performance. So what we do is that we offer different services and pipelines for productions to work with their creatures and their characters between film, TV, and video games. So I'll give you a prime example. If I was working on a project and I will work with the animation director, they might show me the character. And then what we would do is first we'll do the character dev, meaning like we'll create the personality, the characteristics, the purpose of the character. Then we'll go into previs and start creating the physicality and the movement. We'll probably build creature rigs, which is called prosthetics to some and props, so in order to get the correct skeleton. Then we'll do the previs into mocap. So for instance, sometimes when you see certain performances as an actor in live, when you retarget it to the character, sometimes the skeletons doesn't match. So therefore, we do the live streaming, which I'm going to show you some live streaming today, where you can now see the movement of the character in real time and therefore get the correct type of movement. After that, we'll either train the actor that's going to come on board or it'll be someone from our team playing the character. So that's what I'm going to give you more of a breakdown all about motion capture. Once we get that out the way, I'm going to really talk to you guys the importance of your side in regards to what we do. Your side as the animation side, as the VFX side in regards to character. Because it's all great me giving a great performance and doing what I need to do, but at the same time, it's not possible for me to have the end effect without you guys. And it's for me to give you a touch of our world so that when we combine and put it together, we are able to create something beautiful. Then after that, I'm going to talk to you about the importance of branding and mindset for the industry. I'm not talking about, oh, you just got to be so motivated. No, I'm just going to give you some real facts on how I had a particular life and how I then be able to create the moments that I have now and worked on the productions that I do. All right? So first of all, let me give you more in-depth of Creature Bionics. So if you can share the screen, please, it'll be very, very helpful. Yes, thank you very much. So I can't help it. It's just the voice person in me. So this is character production company, Creature Bionics, and we deal with creatures, fantasy, and CG characters. All right? So again, I've always had a passion as an actor. I've always had this passion for performing. But for me, when I normally used to do acting where it's like everything is head up. And what I mean is head up. If you watch a lot of TV shows and a lot of TV shows, a lot of the time the acting is mainly focused on the face and the upper half of the body. So for me, I found that boring. And I remember my first experience of ever doing anything where it was about physicality and creature, because I come from a movement background, is when I done Legend of Tarzan. So when I done Legend of Tarzan, I thought that I was going to be one of the soldiers in the background, one of the warriors. Because my friend was like, yo, listen, they're at Casting Collective, which is a background agency, they're looking for black actors that can be warriors like they're from Africa, and they're paying like $200, $350 a day. I said, what? I'm involved. So I joined up, and I think because I put on my registration form that I came from, I had dance and physical theater and I had training. When I actually went to the audition, I was actually auditioning to play one of the apes. Now, this is the first time that I actually realized that humans played these CG characters. I thought it was all CG. Even video games, I just thought it was all CG. You don't get that kind of information when I'm young or in primary school and secondary school. Oh, by the way, this is humans doing stuff. I just thought it was guys and females on computers doing everything. So that was the first time I had the experience, and I used the arm extensions, which you guys will probably know from Planet City of the Apes of Andy Serkis, and using the arms. And even by then, I still hadn't seen behind the scenes of Andy Serkis' Planet of the Apes. So this was my first experience of being able to use my physicality and use my dance in order to perform something on set. And ever since I discovered that, and then I was told about motion capture and everything like that, and I was like, okay, cool, this is where I want to go. Because my initial thing was to be an action actor. That was my whole thing. I wanted to be physical, because I trained in martial arts and everything. And then from there, that was 2014, and I ended up doing most of the apes. If you've ever seen the film, I've done most of the apes except for the brother, the main brother one, and I done the lion. So there's a scene where the lion rubs heads with the main actor. And then from there, I discovered, okay, cool, this is a path. And then again, I'm going to tell you guys now that for actors, the motion capture industry is very small, similar to stunts, but it's even smaller. Because in reality, as you guys know, in regards to VFX/animation, you can put me in a suit and I could be a male, a female, black, white, any type of thing you want me to be. So it's easier for studios to work with people that have already been working in that industry. It's easier for them, because what's the point of giving somebody a chance to experience something when we can just go and get the people that's been doing it forever? So for the first 3 years, I struggled to get in. So even though I had the credit and everything, I struggled to get into the door, but I was too passionate about this is what I want to do. And the way that I did get into it is through eventually going on LinkedIn. I added every single person you can think of. I just would put a studio name and all the people will come up. Guys, take notes of this. All the people's name would come up. So let's say if I put in Audio Motion, which is a mocap studio, all the people's names will come up. I'll add every single person. I'll go to Sony, add every single person, everybody, and I messaged everyone. The first thing I did was message everyone. Robin being one of the people I also messaged as well, because I saw that he had worked on Mowgli. So I was like, oh, how did you do this and do that? And luckily we gained a friendship from then, and we're working together now. But that was the first thing. Then I got an audition for Planet City Apes VR, the video game. I didn't get it. I got to the finals. But then from there, it gave me a set trend. And still, I wasn't really in it. And this is the part where I want to talk about later, about the importance of branding and content creation. Because it's so easy for you to be great at what you do, but if nobody sees it, then it's not going to be any value. It's like having knowledge. You can have knowledge, but if you don't apply it, knowledge has no power. So it's when I still started to create content is when I started getting seen. And I would start there thinking to myself, okay, I realized that nobody was using the arm extensions to make any form of videos. I said, okay, so if I make these videos with these arm extensions, I can gain some traction, because the only time people see arm extension movement is on the behind the scenes of Planet of the Apes. Nobody was making any form of reference videos. And there was this guy called Matthew on LinkedIn, and he used to make reference videos with weapons and firearms. So if you guys know what reference videos is, it's the stuff that, you know, the animators will look at to then recreate by keyframe. So he would do idle pose, he would do like a loaded gun, and then go back to idle pose. He'd do idle pose, walk cycle, and then back to idle pose. And I said, if I do that same thing, but with my arm extensions, because I looked on the internet, nothing was there. I looked and I realized how hard it is to get like a reference of a lion, let's say a lion, in an idle position where they're just generic. When I say idle, meaning a neutral position, walk in a straight line and then stop back in their idle position. And I said, okay, so if I create content with my arm extensions, then I'll be able to get seen. And that's exactly what I did. And I remember, first video, 3,000 views. And this is all on LinkedIn. A couple of videos, 8,000 views. Then I was like, oh, I want to get 10,000. Then I eventually got to 20,000. I was like, oh. And then that's when people started contacting me. And by then, when people had started contacting me, I already had a couple of credits from the jobs that came in over the years. And I could use that. And then from then is when I scaled up even more. And because people will say to me, oh, Ace, you're like Andy Serkis. You're like the black Andy Serkis. And listen, Andy Serkis is my favorite actor in regards to what I do. But I didn't want to be in somebody's shadow. And then that's when I started using other equipment, some of my other creature rigs, which I will show you videos of and you can see. So let me just give you a breakdown of what we do in more detail, and then we will move on away from that, and I'll show you some mocap live, and I'll show you, and if any of you is brave enough to come on stage and be demonstrating and getting into creature, we can do that too. But if y'all don't want to do it, well, we ain't got to do it, man. So let's go to the next one. So the next one is what we do. Creature Bionics is a character production company specializing in creature and fantasy characters for film, TV, and video games. Our objective is to create pipelines and provide services that aid production with the development, performance, storytelling of their creatures and fantasy characters. I worked on a film, which I can't talk too much about, called Craven. And if you know about the Marvel world, then you know that Craven is from the Spider-Man world. And I worked on that film. And I realized that I was supposed to work one-on-one with the actor, teaching them movement in regards to their character. And then, because of COVID, we wasn't allowed to work one-on-one with the actor. So instead, what I done was a character development. I said, you know what, I need to make myself useful, because I was a part of the stunt team. And I said, I need to make myself useful. So what I did was create a character dev. And a character dev talking about, I've read the scripts, and what I done is extract all the scenes that the actor was in, and then I broke it down, his physicality in relation to this character, to this scene, to this movement and everything. And I realized, hold on, I thought films do this naturally. I thought this was a thing on films. And I remember when I do video games, sometimes I'll go to a job and they'll be like, this is the character, Ace, can you make some movement for this character? I'm like, okay, cool. But I'm just looking at it as, hold on, but this is more than just acting. This is character development. So I realized that there was a need in that. And the reason why I went for creatures and fantasy characters, because if you guys look at the most highest grossing films that we watch, they all have some form of creatures in it. From Avatar being the biggest of all, they're all creatures. They're all a different kind of physicality. Even if you look at down all the way to Harry Potter's, to the Pirates of the Caribbean, all of these films have creatures. And I'm like, if I just focus my niche into that field and build from there, then I'm going to be able to work full time. All right? So that's what I did. So this is what the company is. And here's a couple of the services. So these are the services that we do: character development, character previs, motion capture, creature rigs, and casting. So next one. So this is it. So character development. So these are the things, and the reason why I want you guys to see this as well, and everything that I have here document-wise, I have a different document that I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to send to you so you guys have it, or you can go to the website and download it, but I'm going to make sure you guys have it. Because what I want you guys to understand, because some of you might think to yourself, well, I'm not an actor, so how does it apply to me? If you are in the world of VFX and animation and you ever work on character, you are practically an actor too. Because you are the one that's going to be responsible for the character's movement. You're also might be responsible for the character's environment. And as we all know, environment affects participants. Where you grew up, where you came from, affects how you are and your physicality and who you are. All right? So therefore, if you are going to be on the side working on a film or a video game, you should also have an understanding of the purpose of the character that you might have involved in your scene. Same way with me as an actor, I need to understand what you guys to an extent. I'm never going to understand it to the level that you guys are capable of doing it, but I need to have some form of understanding. Because if I didn't understand that for video games, they need you to be in a straight line and idle. There can't be no kind of jiggly in the steps and everything like that. I need to make sure that I'm providing you data and a performance that you and your team are able to work with. So the reason why I want you guys to take this in is because it's going to benefit you. And not everybody in the VFX and animation world understand the side of the actor. They understand the tech, but they don't understand, why does the character walk like that? What's the purpose behind the character? What's the reason behind the character? Because when you have that understanding, you're able to create something that then influences the character to be able to do what it needs to do. So first thing that I do for a character is this: the character's purpose, the character's mission, the character's psychology, the character's physicality. So one, the reason why they exist. And then two, the character's mission, the journey of completing their purpose. Okay? the character's psychology, their overall personality, behavior, and how they interact, the character's physicality, how they move and vocalize in relation to their psychology. So we go to the next one. And here is where I give you an example, because it's all good me saying this, but let me give you an example. Does everybody know who this being is on the stage? Put your hands up if you do not know who this person is. I don't look to listen. I have to ask, because I've had somebody not know anything in relation to Marvel, and I had to change things up a little bit. So we know what Marvel, we know who Thanos is, we know the purpose of Thanos, but this is how we break it down, okay? And when I say personal film review, it's because I didn't work on the film. So I'm giving this information from just watching the film a couple of times, because I'm a fan of Marvel. Purpose. And you guys know, so you guys can tell me if I'm lying or not. The purpose, Thanos' purpose. Thanos wants to bring balance to the universe as he predicts in millenniums to come, living beings will cease to exist due to overpopulation, followed by the lack of resources. So if you've watched a Marvel film, you know Thanos is trying to get the Infinity Stone so he can click his finger and wipe out half the universe, because so therefore life can continue. So that's his purpose. That's why he appeared on the film and on the screen, obviously from the comics, but that's why we out here generically know of him if you didn't know of him before the comics. What's his mission? Thanos' mission is to collect the Infinity Stones, which will give him the power to make the wish of wiping half of life in the universe. He is willing to go to great lengths and sacrifice whatever is necessary to complete his mission. So his mission, his purpose is to save the universe. But his mission in the film is to get the Infinity Stones in order to do it. And he's willing to go to any length. So if you've seen the film, you know he sacrificed his daughter, Gamora. You know he went through all of these things, and he is willing to go the full length. Psychology. Thanos views himself as a highly intellectual being and will always believe he is right once he has made a decision. His dedication to his mission creates a personality of someone who is assertive, confident, authoritative, and egotistical. Thanos is an alpha male. If you see how Thanos carries himself in films, if you see how he moves, if you see how he talks, then you understand the kind of psychology that he has. And from his psychology, his physicality, Thanos has a strong physical presence due to his mass and confidence, which is executed through his locomotion and the way he delivers his vocabulary. So because he sees himself as such an intellectual being and such one with a strong presence, his physicality is going to match that. So for instance, if you saw me walking on the road or walking around, in fact, me talking to you guys, and I'm talking to you guys like this. So yeah, hey guys, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna learn about character development, and we're gonna understand a bit more about mocap. You would then more likely switch off because I'm not presenting my best self towards you, all right? And because I am a person that knows the stuff I'm talking about, and knows what I'm trying to deliver and want to deliver it to you in the best way, my head is going to be up. My voice is going to be clear. You're not going to hear the ums and the ahs over and over and over and over and over again, because I want to deliver the best. So your physicality comes from your psychology. You guys have friends, and you can kind of tell when they're sad or not sad, or your close friends, even if they're smiling with their face on. You can tell, because eventually, and you can tell these kind of things. All right, so next. Achieving the objectives. So my team will thoroughly read through and break down your script and use any additional information that is available for us to uncover the character for objectives. Once the process has been completed, we may make suggestions and come up with new ideas in relation to character story. If there isn't a script available, we will focus on developing the necessary stories and objectives that will benefit the overall performance. So here is a quick thing that we do right here, all right? And this is the stuff that you guys want to know. And I'm saying that, I'm not going to tell you that you have to know. I'm not saying that. I'm saying by knowing it, it will add value to your work beyond the normal that a lot of people might do. That's the difference. So I'm not going to lie to you and be like, hey, you need to learn this, and if you don't learn this, guys, you ain't going to work. No, that's rubbish. I'm just saying, add more value to your work and be in a position where someone thinks, I need this person. Yeah, I need this person. Because let's be realistic. A lot of us could be replaceable. So you want to put yourself in a position where a company, where whoever runs the company thinks twice about replacing you. Twice. Unless you're being I don't want to swear, but you know, you're making life really hard for them to work. Okay? But that's how you want to think, because everybody's doing this, and if you go above and beyond, you're going to be recognized for that. And I can tell you that, and I'm going to give you a prime example of a project that I worked on this week where it made a difference, and I'm going to show you something. I can't say the name of the project, but I will give you an example of when I went beyond what I needed to do in order to gain that relationship so they're willing to work with me again and again and again and again. All right? So here's what we're talking about: backstory, psychology, behavior, idle, brief cycle, vocal sound, locomotion. The best way to understand the character, guys, is imagine someone doing a biopic of you. If someone did a biopic of you, what would they need to know? They would need to know where you grew up, where you came from, how you were raised, what you do, what you don't like, how you move. The more information that you are given, the more you can relate. So if I was to play somebody as a biopic for a film or a game, the more information I get, and this is what we do. Everybody has a backstory. Everybody has a form of psychology. Psychology creates behavior. Then your idol. After all of that, it creates the idol. From the idol, you have a breath cycle as well. The breath is in relation to how you see yourself. Then you have the vocalization, so how you sound, and then you have your movement. Next one. Character previs, and this is a thing that, again, that we really specialize in. Character previs. Character previs is where we focus, the focus shifts to developing the character's physicality, behavior, and movement. A majority of the physical development comes from knowing the character's development objectives mentioned in the previous slides. The previs can also be produced from viewing the concept art images and the description that's available. So what this means is sometimes I've worked on a game and I've worked on a game and in a film, and they have not done all of this work, or I've not been involved from pre-production. And they just give me an image and say, this is the purpose of the character. One thing you always need to know when you're doing whatever you're doing, whether you're creating an environment, whether you're creating just lights, whether you are creating a character, you must know the purpose of why it is happening and what it's going to interact with. Don't just make lights and be like, yeah, I've made a light. What's the purpose of the light being here? What's the purpose of the light reflecting on the character? What's the purpose of the light reflecting in the environment? And this is what I'm saying. The more in depth you go, the more information, the better your work is going to be produced. And this is why I'm saying it doesn't matter if you work on character or not. You could be the person that's in control of the lights, or the person that's in control of the clouds. You want to know, why is the cloud here? What is my cloud going to do to affect the environment, affect the actor, affect the character, affect the animation? You must always think of purpose. And if you have time, you go into the purpose and break it down, the reasons, the intention. And that's what you do. And that works across VFX, it works across animation, it works across acting, it works across camera, it works across every part of the industry. Then when we're creating a visual for somebody to sit down as an audience to watch. All right? Next one. Character previous objectives. Yes, we've worked on an idle, locomotion, movement coordination, and action design. So that's what we do. The next, mocap previs. So this is mocap previs as well as live action recording. I didn't even have to go for it. But what I basically say here is what I said at the beginning, is the fact that, okay, so this is, sometimes I go on the internet and I just type in H for Ruele to see what comes up. I scrolled and I scrolled, and I found that somebody made a 3D asset of me that was inspired by me. I was like, oh, cool, this is great. So I don't really have that kind of hair that they put there. I don't know why they came up with this side here, but it's okay. But someone actually decided to make a 3D mesh inspired by my digi legs and my tail and everything. So I just asked, can I use it? And that's why I always credit everybody who ever had a part to do with it. So they're down at the name. And so basically what I explain to companies is that it's all great that I can show you the movement of something. I can show you the movement. But then if you retarget it and put it onto the character, it might, I might have looked like this, but then when you retarget it, it might be looking like this because of the skeleton. So what we should say we can do instead is we can get a 3D and a rigged character. So a 3D rigged character, if you guys don't know, is basically when someone makes a 3D model and then they have it rigged for motion capture, and therefore we can get a polygon mesh where it's just a low res, so not really high in depth. We can have that made. We can use our mocap system because we have XNs. My company has 2 XNs, and we have links with motion capture studios, and we can live stream it so you as the producer can look and see the movement and give an approval or not. That's what we do. Next, motion cap. Oh, Robin, look at you right there. You're there, man. You're there, man. So, motion capture, again, we're just talking about what type of motion capture. The one at the top is a full optical setup. Full optical setup meaning using infrared cameras that read off markers that you wear that bounce back into the cameras and into the computers. And then we have XNs, which you see me wearing here. That's here. And we can either use either one. Now, the reason why I mention about the optical one is because some of the practical effects, the creature rigs that my company designs, can only work in optical for now. All right? Next one. And here you see creature rigs. So our creature rigs are designed to act as additional limbs to enable a performer to have a similar skeleton and physicality as their character. This helps the performer to create more realistic visual performance. The rigs are solely operated by the movement of the performer's body and require no additional support. Another great benefit of using our creature rigs is that the data is helped to create for motion capture and on-set VFX reference. For motion capture, I'm basically saying that we already got solves created for it. And for VFX, we have full body scans of each rig and me in each rig. So that's more in the VFX, and I'll show you a scan. So this is the part where I kind of separated myself from all other performers. All right, and I'm not saying that in an egotistical way, I'm just saying it in a branding way so you understand. Because you need to find that what separates you from everybody else. And you might be thinking, oh, everybody's already done everything. Trust me, everybody ain't. Everybody ain't. Everybody ain't. That's why if you look at social media, a lot of the pages that are very popular who do VFX, why? Because there's not many people that can do VFX on social media. And that's why a lot of the VFX pages where people actually do their own VFX charts up really quick. And guess what? If they've got their page looking like they've got how many hundreds of thousands of followers because of that, guess what? People are going to come to them for work anyway. So we are not in the day and age where we have to, and let me just say this to you guys. We are not in the day and age where we have to, I need to work for ILM. Oh my God, I need to work for Framestore. I need to. You don't need to. If you want to, yes. But don't believe that your only way you're going to use your talent is by being hired. No, you can be hired through going the route of, becoming an employee. And then there's also the other way where people see your work and they're like, hey, you know what you done there? Can we bring you in? And let me tell you something. You see, when somebody comes to you, the negotiation of what you charge is different from when you go to them. So just keep that in mind, all right? So as you can see here, I just had a dinosaur in the back, but if you can see the rig of the skeleton from me having my tail and my digilegs is a form of rig that never existed before. And I'm going to show you a comparison video where you can see where I perform as a character with the rigs and I perform as a character without the rigs, and you can actually see the difference. Okay, next one, please. Okay, casting, we don't really need to talk about that, but yeah, go for it. I think it might be done after casting. Working with cast. So again, we help with castings, we help, place people together with productions. I'm shooting heavily on a game called, what's the game called again? Oh my God, how can I forget the game? The Lords of the Fallen. So Google it, the Lords of the Fallen, a game that's coming out in 2 months. I done heavily mocap for it. They use my system, remote shoots. I either performed or I had cast other actors to perform for them, all right? So I think that's it. I don't think there's any more to it, is there? Oh, that's it. Oh, yeah, some of the previous clients. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. I forgot about this side. So, yeah, these are some of the companies that I've worked for, either as a performer, either as providing them rigs, so we sell rigs, either, what else, supply motion capture, either castings. So this is just some of the rings. And look at here, Dam Busters. Yeah, none of them. Yeah, Dam Busters. This game, obviously, I come to Nottingham quite often, well, I used to anyway, because this Dead Islands 2 is supposed to be out next month, I think, or May, Dead Islands 2. I've done a lot of work on that game, a lot of work. So I've come to Nottingham quite a lot of times in the last 2 to 3 years. All right, I just wanted to point that out because we are 9 of them. So I just want to say, yeah, 9 of them. Yeah. So this is the production. So again, we either sell rigs to people. So like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, we sold rigs to them. Robin went down there to train the actor on how to use them. All the different ones. Marvel, I've worked on Eternals. I've worked on the latest Ant-Man. So all of these different stuff that come about. Next one is, these are all like the companies of where we have worked with them, organizations, so they're drama schools, they're universities. And normally I get called in to go to a university or a drama school to either do a talk or to run workshops, because one of the main things that we do is run workshops for actors on how to use our rigs and how to do video game development, how to do video game movements. We call it video game mechanics. So these are the things that we do. And I think, yes, one more, I think there's one more. Yeah, and these are some of the partners that we have in regards to University of Portsmouth. We can use their studio, XNs. I'm an ambassador for the XNs Motion Capture, Performance Capture Academy. They run mocap workshops and castings. Black Magic Design, they gave me a camera. Cave Academy, guys, Cave Academy is a great place to get information on when it comes to VFX. Great place. So anytime I do anything VFX or anything that I need advice, I speak to the person that runs it, because he just gives me the information. Because I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know all the ins and outs of VFX in regards to every little fine detail to ask. So I'd be like, I want to do this. What do I do? And he'd tell me the answer. But Cave Academy, they do a lot of webinars online, free and everything. So check it out. And then Clear Angle Studios, I'm very, very grateful for them because of their 3D scanning. They allowed me to 3D scan, bring my stuff and scan it in order to create new characters. So yeah, that's what Creature Bionics does. And yeah, these are little info. So if y'all want to give us a little follow, you can give us a little follow, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, go check out the website, man. You can check out the website. You can check out stuff. There's stuff on there that's for free that you can download. If you're in the world of motion capture and you know you might be doing animation, and I've got free data on there that you can download and use it to play with it in Unreal, to play with it in Maya, whatever system you are. Because for me, it's great doing all of this stuff, but if I can't do something where I'm able to give for others to do, so it's all ego. So of course I love performing, I love entertaining, but I do want to be a part of giving something, because that person then creates and they create something better than they give, and that's how we evolve. If everybody was like, I don't want to share nothing, we wouldn't be where we are in the world of animation, AI, and all of these kind of things, because it's about sharing. It's holding the information is not going to do nothing for you. And people get worried, and I'm going to tell you this now, people get worried that, you know, you might be up and coming and the other person gets scared, and so they try to close off. I've had those kind of situations. I'm not going to it. But listen, if you know your place in the industry, you sharing information ain't going to have you knocked off where you are. If you know your place and you've settled your place, because I could have been one of these people where I'd done all of this. I'm not going to run no workshops because I don't want to make anybody be able to do what I do. Or I'm not going to sell any of my rigs to actors because I don't want them to create reference videos. Everyone that comes to my sessions, I said, this is what you should do. Create reference videos, create this, create that. Do these kind of things. And yeah, you might get that little, oh, what if they get more views than you? But listen, your place is your place. If you trust in what you do and you know what you are doing, then you're going to be fine. All right? Now, I'm going to show you a bit of mocap live. I'm going to have to probably recalibrate so you can see it. But I'm going to give you basically an insight of what we would do for character previs. All right? So let me just go to XNs. I might. Oh, yeah, let me calibrate just in case.
Go to a starting position where you can safely perform the calibration. Stand in end pose, relaxed and look straight ahead for 3 seconds. Now, move around to move and rotate all the sensors. Avoid rapid movements. Processing. Please wait. Now, stand still to apply and finalize the calibration. The calibration process is now complete. You can move freely now.
So here you can see this is a mocap. I'm using the XSense. And the beautiful about the XSense is that you can use this software anywhere. Well, basically almost anywhere. The less magnetic interference, the better it is. But one of the XSense is the highest of all companies in regards to inertia suits. So inertia suits is, for us, portable. I don't know why they just call it portable mocap, but they call it inertia suits. But this is like the highest end, the highest end scale. Now there's other companies, stuff like Rococo, which is coming up and doing great stuff. You also have Perception Neuron. They're the main three, all right? And this is just one part of the process. So as much as I can give people mocap, without what some of you guys do, I will never see the end result. I had to learn how to use Unreal. Like I had to learn. And I only learn like 10% and probably even like only 2% for what I can do. But I had to because I had these suits, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to be like, yeah, my suit's getting used every week. So when I'm not using my suit, it just sits up in a box in my room. And I was like, no, I have to learn how to use Unreal. I have to learn because, you know, Unreal's free. So if you ain't get it before one day, they'll be like, hey, you got to pay. So get it now if you ain't got it. So I said, okay, I need to learn. And I ain't going to lie. Learning some of the stuff that you guys do, whoo! I remember when I tried to open up Blender. Oh, my God. Oh my, I tried to just move that little box that's in the middle and it never happened. I just turned it off. I said, nah, forget that. And then I went to Unreal because someone told me, you know what, just focus on Unreal for what you do. I went to Unreal. I watched the whole video. You know, YouTube, copying. After I heard, I said, nah, nope, I ain't doing this either. I'm just gonna pay someone. Then after a while, I'm like, no, Ace, learn. So luckily, I'm at the stage where, and I'm not great, I wouldn't tell anybody, yeah, hire me, I'm an Unreal expert. No, I'm at the level where at least I know how to retarget my mocap, live stream it, so I can now present something to someone. So hopefully if we go to Unreal, it should be all set, and then drop that screen. Yeah, should be all set, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, how you doing, man, you all right? Hey, I see you, man. So here you can see, like, I'm gonna turn around here, and this is what we normally would do in regards to doing previs on a character, all right? And you can see this is just like a demon character, and there's a shadow that's there just because there's a camera. I've used it for something else where there's a camera that follows it, but I don't want to put that on because it's a headache. And I'm gonna show you and give you a demonstration why it's important for live preview, because you can create something, but then it's until you understand the relation and purpose of the character is until you really are able to use that performance. So let's say this character that I got, I want to look at it, but I can't look at it because every time I look at it, I can't see its face. So I remember what it looks like. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give you a demonstration in regards to performance-wise, all right? In fact, no, I think I can hold it and talk. Okay, so this is a normal generic idol, okay? So we're talking about human, all right? So a human generic idol would just be standing. Okay, it's just standing. And continue to stand. Okay, so that's a normal idol for us humans, all right? That's what you normally, if you just stand in there, everybody has their own way they might stand. You know, some people might lean. We all have our own one, but if we're saying generic, then this. Now, when I see a character like this, I have to now try to figure out what kind of idol will make sense. So first things first, one of the most important things, like I always say, you have to find a purpose, you look at the character, and breath, all right? So for instance, I'm going to take big breaths in, big breaths to get into a particular type of character. And normally when you do bigger characters, it's longer and slower breaths, and the more faster characters is more faster breaths. But there's a difference in mocap because you have to kind of exaggerate the movement in regards to creature characters. You kind of have to exaggerate the movement depending on the type of character in order to see the breathing. So for instance, in fact, you know what, Robin, turn the camera, turn it around. Let me follow it around. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. All right. And then we're going to have to turn it back when I turn back this way. Okay. So let's say I'm going to do breathing, right? Just breath, okay? You can hardly see any breath moving, can you? You can hardly see anything. Even though I'm breathing out to my maximum of extending my chest. This is why we have to exaggerate. So now to make it seem like the character's breathing, I'm going to use my body as well to kind of show the breath. So we go again. Do you see the breath more now? And the reason why is because I'm using the body more. And that's what you might have to do in regards to mocap, okay? In regards to mocap, you might have to do that just because it helps you to sell the breath more. Where in reality, you wouldn't do that. If you were breathing hard, in fact, we might want to turn, hey, stop looking at my butt, man. Come on, guys. Come on, turn that around. Turn me around. Okay, so now you can understand why, in regards to understanding your character and seeing the character, and why previs is important, mocap previs is important for me, is because you guys are able to see. Because imagine you said, okay, send me a breath video, and I just sent you what I did, just breathing big. You would have retargeted onto the character, and you would have seen barely nothing. Okay, so now let's get even more into character with the breath, and now we want to find an idol that matches this character. So I might put one. Anybody left-handed in here? Anybody left-handed? I see y'all. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, all right. But video games and everything like that, they work with people, they work on the right-hand basis. So when it comes to combat idol and stuff like that, it's normally in the boxing stance of a right character. So normally the left foot's forward. So let's say I'm going to try find a particular physicality for the character. I still need to look at it. I'm going to do it sideways because it just makes my brain work even more. Makes my brain work even more. Okay. So I will look at the character and I see the face and I see the image. We know that this doesn't work. So let's try to create something that makes. And this is where you start playing. You start playing one leg forward. Okay. So even that, we can even go more. We can bend the arms more. And this is why I'm saying that you have to live stream, because it then shows. So we can even extend more. You guys think I'm not in it. I really get into it when I get into it. There's no joke. There's no halfway. But this is, again, and this is what we would do in previs. And obviously, I'll be able to see the character even more. But you would play around. You would find it. And this is why it's important for you guys, if you ever decide to do animation and work with characters, this is why this stuff is important. And yes, you may not have a mocap suit available or whatever, but what you can do is start to realize from stuff that I'm trying to explain, and if you go, is you get up and move. You get up and do so. And this is why I think mocap is really important, because it might take you guys forever to keyframe different idols each time. Luckily, there's websites where you can now download mocap data, and eventually my website will have a full-on library of all creature idols, creature walk cycles, using my rigs only. And these are the things that we'll be able to do. So now, Rob, if you can, move, I'm gonna move back, turn the camera on my side, yes, okay. And move it a bit more in front, yep, to the side, okay. So you might have to move the camera at the time. So I'm gonna walk back here. So again, walk cycles and idols. So let's say we've created this idol here. Now we're going to create a walk. And remember, with walking is an essence of the idol, okay? So there's no point me having an idol like this, but then when I walk, I do this. You see how the character looks mean, but the walk is soft, all right? So you have to match. You have to make sure that the idol matches the idol matches the walk. The walk is an essence of the idol. So just turn the camera more to the side because I'm going to walk in a straight line. Yes. Okay. So zoom out a little bit. Just zoom out a little bit. Yeah. And then move the camera a bit more. So move it kind of more in front of me because I'm going to walk. Let me see how far it goes. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. So now let's do something where we add a walk that kind of matches the character's idol. So here. Yeah, I couldn't help but do that one, man. Okay, and again, I would still play around with different walks until I found it. But there's a difference between walking in essence with the idol compared to having an idol and the walk doesn't match. And these are the things that you want to make and understand. Again, if you work around character, even if you work in environment and you're working with lights, how can you place the things in the environment and the lights that shines on that character's walk and make that character look even more in depth? Because that's what a lot of the things does. The environment makes something looks more stronger. Because if I'd done that walk and there was lots of rosy flowers around me, it's not really going to have the same effect. All right? So this is the importance of understanding the mocap. And again, like I said to you guys, this is just a live demo. This is just me basically showing you what is possible. And then I could record everything I just done right now, extract the animation, and send the animation to somebody. All right? Now, we've done enough live. Yeah, real time. Yeah, that's right. Oh, the weather. Okay, it's cool. Oh, yeah. All right, so now what I want to do is show you guys the benefit of using the rigs. All right? What I want to do is show you guys the benefit of using the rigs. In fact, what I want to do first, I should show you the rigs. So if we go to rigs display, okay, let's go to rigs display. All right, let's play this video. All right. So here's some of my rigs. All right. This is actually at Ant-Man, at rehearsals at Ant-Man, by the way. I can say that now. The latest one that came out. So that's my mini arm extensions. These are my normal ones. Where I run a workshop. Now we got crazy people just running down the street. Here's one of my favorite ones. This one kind of gave me like the spotlight with the tail. And it's no animatronics, it just works off the hips, how it moves. My first prototype. And then these ones I haven't fully gone into yet, but as I was trying to create exoskeleton legs. There's my digi legs. And I use the tail with the digi legs and a puppet head. And again, this is what I was basically trying to say to the VFX and animation and mocap industry, that I could get rigs built that help to create more better data. So for instance, let's look at the dinosaur one for prime example. And there should be a little dinosaur video in there if you go to it, and then it should be the one, yeah, right there. Okay? So let's, yep, you can play it. We can play it. Okay, so what I was basically saying there, being on set and having these kind of things is going to give you as the VFX supervisor and the director, hey, one of you might decide to be full-on director, is going to give you more real reference compared to me being in my blue suit, running around in my blue suit, because I have those, running around in my blue suit and pretend to do it. Because now you've got that video reference, and now you can obviously change it to the way you want, but at least you can say how wide the dinosaur should open up the mouth, the angle, how it should move. So this is what I was basically saying. Now, yes, I'm not saying that I'm the first to ever have practical effects. No, because practical effects was what was used a lot back in the early day. Back in the early day, a lot of the stuff you see with characters like Alien and Jurassic Park were practical effects and animatronics. But we've now moved more into VFX, because I think it's cheaper to use a VFX compared to a dyno, and it works faster. Plus, in the sense, if something breaks down on set, like an animatronics, let's say they have one Tyrannosaurus and it breaks down on set, that's gonna ruin a lot of stuff. But what I've basically done with Creature Bionics is to say, hey, we don't have to wait to build all of these things. I've got all of these things already. I can come on set ready with all of these things and the actors who all know how to use it. And what's it gonna benefit? It's gonna benefit you as the VFX supervisor, because you now get to have a visual, all right? You get to have more realistic visual. But let me show you how it's worked in motion capture. So if we go to the motion capture one, which is, yep, that one at the top, that one there, yep. So here, pause it 1 second. So here you're gonna see in this video where I've one on this side here, which is gonna be my right, I have no rigs wearing. It's just me being me, normal, all right? On this side, I have the digilegs and the tail. Sorry, I just saw the RS3 Mini. I can see it right there, man. That's why I had to point it out. I like that. So now on this side, you can see this side is gonna have the rigs. So the digilegs that you saw me with and the tail. Okay, this character was bought from Unreal, so it wasn't made specifically for my rigs. We just found one because it's hard to find an asset that has a tail in it. It's very hard to find one. We found one, and we're like, okay, let's just try to create for it, right? So the first couple of the first part is gonna be normal walk. So normal walk meaning casual, just walking with the rigs and without, and it's all raw data, so that's why you might see some clipping going through the hands because there was no cleanup. And this was all shot in real time. So you know how I showed you the real-time mocap? I done real-time mocap with all my rigs at Target 3D Mocap Studio, great place. And we done real-time, no edit, no cleanup, no motion edit, just played it out raw. So the first videos, the first part is just casual walking, so me walking normally and me walking normally on my digilegs and tail. Okay, let's play. Pause it. In fact, keep playing because it turns around and stuff, yeah. We'll talk about it after. So just look at that. This is just casual walk. Look at the way that the legs are shaped. Okay, look at the difference in how the performance looks. Change it at a different angle. Okay. There's no character, no performance, just casual. Look at the distance. Look at the gait compared. Go sideways. And pause it. So the major difference for me, realistically, is the way that the legs are operating. The weight, that one feels like it has more weight, and the other one feels more light. So for me, there's a benefits in regards to locomotion performance. Now, if I'm gonna do stunt stuff, I wouldn't be wearing my rigs. Fighting, yes, but if I'm gonna do crashes and falls and all of these kind of things, I'm definitely gonna use it without because it's more safer, all right? So this was just an example of a casual walk. Now we're gonna do one where we put more performance in it to be like, okay, well, we can see the difference in the casual walk. Oh yeah, you can see the tail swagging as well. Press play, you can see the tail, and pause it. The tail's not moving in that one because that's how it's set, that's how it's raw. So for the tail to move in that one, they would have to go and do some editing. They would have to obviously tell the tail what to do. So this is just from off my tail that you saw and the digilegs. All right, we're gonna play, now we're gonna go into a more performance side. Oh, music's dramatic. And you can see. And again, pause it 1 second. Because the character is digileg, and digileg is basically like a reverse knee, so if you think of a dinosaur's leg, how it comes down, out, and in. So for me to perform like that, if I didn't have my equipment, I'm gonna go on my toes. So that's what you can see me on my toes in character as I'm walking like that. But again, there's a bounce when I do it, and my calves are eventually going to burn after doing it after a long time. All right? So let's continue playing. So again, for me, in the mocap world, this gives animators as much more to play with. They can say, okay, we don't want the tail to swing that much. I can make a tail that doesn't swing that much. Okay, so this is the difference in regards to using the rigs for it. All right? So, what I basically wanted to explain to you guys in this first part, what's the time in this goddamn place? Because time is going faster than I thought. I thought everybody was going to be dying. Like, God damn, is the guy going to shut up? Shit. But, what did you say the time was? Okay, so that first part is what I wanted to basically explain, okay, in regards to the importance of, I believe, the reason why Creature Bionics does what it does, but how it also can relate with you guys. Because I don't know, I know you guys, a lot of you guys are VFX students, but I heard that there might be people here from different parts as well. But I wanted to do something where it can relate to all of you, no matter what you're doing, whether you do character, whether you do lights, whether you do environments, whether you're doing the blueprints. There's something that you all can add in order to make your work have value. Because we're gonna go more into the branding side of things, but I just wanted to double check, go to my videos, if there was any other videos I really wanted to show you. Oh, let me show you guys what I did yesterday. All right, before we do that. So this one here that I'm gonna show you and play there, right? I can't tell you the name of the production because that's NDNA, but I can show you the video because it has nothing to do with the on-set stuff. So I was called in to do a job to play a bear character, right? VFX, they wanted me to come on with my rigs, so I had long stilts and long arm extensions, so I would roughly be up here with all my rigs. And basically, I'm playing a character where this guy transforms, and then I do all the bear stuff for reference, so I do all the stuff, blah, blah. Okay? So I'm doing all the stuff for the bear so that the VFX, and how it works in VFX in the industry, if you're in that industry, if there's a character, normally you either have one person in a blue suit or a gray suit, and they just do all the movements in where the character would be. All right? And then you erase them out, and then obviously you put the character in. So that's what a lot of VFX referencing, where you do all the stuff so you as the person, VFX, okay, the character's gonna be there, okay, we're gonna move there. So they wanted it as much more realistic as possible, so I had stilts because the bear was like 8 foot tall and everything, and they wanted it something even more real. So okay, I done that. So I done that for them. But when you work on TV and film stuff, I might be booked in for a week, and I probably, if I tell you now, I worked on the project for about 7 days, and I can tell you, maybe about, if I put all the time I actually was doing something on set, it's probably about an hour and a half. 7 days, all together crammed in one, probably about an hour, maybe an hour and a half pushing it. But that's how it goes for actors on set, all right? It might go for a lot of people as well in different departments. So while I'm sitting there in my trailer, because they gave me a trailer, while I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, what can I do to be active, but to give them stuff that's gonna help them? That's gonna give them stuff that's gonna help them to do their work. And me doing this is doing two things. One, I'm giving myself a job to do. And two, I'm giving them something that can help the production that also creates a relationship for future productions. Every job you work on, you have to look at it as an audition for the next job. Don't get complacent. Okay, you might be employed and you might be in a fix with them for years, but if you get hired as part of a team for a month contract, 3 months contract, always look at it as every job is an audition for the next job. Every job. Listen, I've been working in the industry for years and I still do the same thing every job. I'm not saying I don't get comfortable sometimes and kick back and I might look at my phone on there and there. And I'm not gonna be like, I'm always ready. I'd be lying to you. But I always think, how can I offer more than what I've been asked to do without breaking my neck, without going, oh my God, I'm stressing. Because I know about how it's going on in the industry, and a lot of people from you guys' side, the tech side, are complaining about the unfairness about time consuming and the pay. So I'm not telling any of you guys to strain yourself to keep you in a job that's straining you already. No. I'm talking about if you get called on for what you do and you want to remain there or you want to build relationships, give more than you're asked for. So what did I say? I said, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy my own beer. Remember, I've not been asked to do any of this. So what I'm going to show you, I was not asked to do anything. I wasn't given no extra money to do anything. All right? So I said, I'm going to buy my own beer. I'm going to do live stream retarget. I bought 2 beers because the first beer, I struggled to retarget. And I said, no, I'm going to do another beer. So I bought another beer. Luckily, I found out how to do it, and I had to fix it. It took me a little while. I was getting hot while I was doing it. I'm like, God damn, this is too much. But I done it. And then I made some mocap for them. So I made some mocap for them, and I showed it. Then I sent it off to a company to get cleaned. I paid for them to clean it, and it wasn't even that great anyway because I realized cleanup is different from motion editing. Motion editing is when people can see what the performance is. Cleanup is like if the finger's like that, they just move it there. Motion edit is like the hand's supposed to be there. So I said, all right, cool, I'm gonna live stream it. I'm gonna live stream it onto the bear. So what I done was live streamed it, showed it to them, and they were happy because they could see what the bear done. So I done that first part. Then secondly, I said, and I done this all on set. I said, let me go find a space and go and do it. Then secondly, when I was working on set, was it yesterday? Was it? No, it was the day before. I was on set Monday, and I said, do you want me to bring my mocap on set so that I can get the actual measurements of where I'm actually going to be? Because obviously when I was doing it in a hall space, I was just, remembering what I was doing and then doing it in line with that. But I said, do you want me to bring it on set and do it in the real environment so you have the animation that you can use? And he said, that would be so helpful. Please, that'd be helpful, really helpful for what we're doing. So they didn't call me to do any mocap, but I took it out my own self to be like, okay, I'm gonna come and do this. And you know what that does? It builds relationships. When you go that extra mile. Like I said, don't strain yourself to go to the extra mile, but think to yourself, you're like, yo, I wanna be here, I want this VFX supervisor to remember me. Think how you can go that extra mile without doing too much, but just enough to be like, right, we didn't even realize we needed that, and now you've just helped. So I'm gonna show you what I did. You can press play on it. So basically, this is now it transforms into the bear, boom, live stream, then the bear. And again, I use my mini arm extensions for this as well. Walks round, the bear smacks something, smack. Then it smacks a soldier, then it smacks another soldier. It breathes, then it walks back. More falls, then it goes up, slams the ground. Okay? And that's just previous. So it wasn't, I gave them the animation, so obviously the accents there you can see. If you play it one more time, you can see that I'm obviously when I go down onto quadruped, something's stopping me, which is my mini arm extensions, okay? And there's no cleanup because it's live stream, but they don't need the cleanup because they're gonna create this is not the actual bear that they're gonna have. But at least I gave them visuals to be able to use in the real space and the animation, so they can take the animation, use it with their VFX and create something. And I saw the effect it had. I saw the effect it had for the director. I saw the effect that it had for the supervisor. I saw the effect of me having my rigs and being in real height where the actor can actually look up rather than being in a blue suit and holding up like a tennis ball so the actor can look up. So I showed and demonstrated how beneficial Creature Bionics was. And again, what I'm trying to say to you guys in respect to that is you need to find out how you can give more in order for them to remember you and build. And guess what? Your job might be, you know what? I want to own my own VFX house. So what do? You work on these different jobs. You create the relationships by the work you do. You also create content on the side. So then when you do start your own company or own anything, you've already got people that want to come and work with you. I didn't start Creature Bionics based on just an idea. I'd done how many different jobs that I worked on before I said, you know what, now I can build Creature Bionics. But like I said, I'm going to show you one of the reference videos. This is one of the reference videos that I was making. So you can go to anyone. It could be, go to the Digilegs one. Right there, yeah. So these are the videos, the type of videos I was making. off my own back, off my own self. You can give a little bit of sound for it, just a little bit. So creature, in fact, go back a little bit. Let me just say that. Go back. Pause it there. So this is what I was doing, making my own videos. This is how I built myself up. I had to spend a lot of my own money. A lot of my own money. And sometimes I spend money and they may not, like that puppet head, that dinosaur puppet head, is probably never going to be used on a production. But guess what? I use it as an asset for marketing. So write that off as tax, all right? So, in fact, everything I do is tax. So if you go back just to see the title, let me just show the title. 7 creature walk cycles with digi-leg stilts plus weapons for animation reference. There still is nobody making these videos. I've told every person that come to my workshop, do stuff like this if you really want to get into creature, do stuff. Because this here, when I put it out for free, it takes me time to do, it takes me long to edit, but guess what? Even if it only gets 1,000 views and it doesn't get all the views that I wish it did, I'm still putting that energy out and I still have that content that I can play to someone in the future. So don't make videos and content just for views. Because you might make something so spectacular, and the first time you put it out there, woo, you got 20,000 views. And then the second video you put out there, you put even more work in it, you only get 1,000 or 500. And yeah, you do get a bit, oh, what happened? But then you have to think, you have more content now. So now you can show more than just one content. So don't do it for views. Yes, you want to get loads of views because the more views you get, the more people see. And guys, use LinkedIn. You can use Instagram, yeah, great, and TikTok. But if you want more industry people to see you, LinkedIn. So whatever you're doing in the animation VFX world, put it on Instagram, put it on TikTok, put it on all of them, but change your wording for LinkedIn. My wording on LinkedIn is different from my wording on Instagram. You need to know your audience. The wording is different. All right? Because I know some people on my Instagram don't know what the hell animation reference is. But when I put that title in the LinkedIn video, they understand. All right? And that's what I'm saying. So if you play the video, this is what I was doing. I'll do a walk with staff of spear, walk cycle with staff of spear. Then I'll give a little note. Best suited for characters who are elders or in a high status and leadership position. I do different walk cycles. I've got probably like 10 different walk cycle videos using all my different equipment. And then I have that. I have hit attacks. I have hit reactions. I have all different types of reference videos. All right? And you might think to yourself, you can stop it now. You might think to yourself, you know, you want to do all the flashy stuff. No. Animation and VFX, it's the simple stuff that works for them. All right? And this is what I'm saying. So you create the content. You create and you try to do things that other people have not do. All right? Let me see what other video I got there that I need to say that I think. Because now I'm going to move on to something else. Okay, so you know what? Go to this part here, that one, branding. All right, just select, yeah, just photo. Cool. I'm going to talk about this. Okay? Because it's all good you've got the skill. It's great. Your skill's amazing. You're good at it. But I'm telling you now, the branding and the marketing is the most important part outside of the skill. The most important part. Please, I'm telling you, please, listen to this part. If you're not going to be, it doesn't matter if you didn't listen to all the other parts and you extract from that. This is the most important part. See, for me, this is just me writing something for myself. All right? This is just me writing something for myself, and I'm going to go through it, why it worked for me. Some may work for you, some might not work for you, but I want you to have an importance of understanding in regards to branding. For me, it's creating my legacy. That's what I call it. Because for me, I have to be doing something. And again, this may not be for you, but for me, when I think about what I want to do, there's 2 types of things. You can either do one or 2. You can either be the person that, I just want to work in the industry. I just want to work. I just want to work. I just want to work. And that's how I started. I just want to work. I just want to work. I just want to work. And work came in every now and then. But the moment I started thinking about how can I add value to the industry, my work went up. Because guess what? While I'm adding value to the industry, I'm working anyway. So there's no point you thinking about the low scale of things, which is, I just want to work. I just want to work. Think from the mindset, how can I add value to the whole industry? And you may not find it, but because you're thinking from that scale, you're open up to more ideas and opportunities. I'm not talking manifestation and all of this stuff. I'm not trying to convince anybody of that. I'm just talking about when you open yourself up to a different idea. There's a difference where you want to build a small piece of Lego compared to I want to build a house as a Lego. Your brain's going to be thinking about, okay, if I place this here and I place this there and I move that, okay, to spacing. You're going to be thinking about more things than if I just want to build a wall. Because you know, if everyone knows what Legos is, building a wall of Legos, just a quick wall, is much easier than building a house, because now you got to make 4 walls, then you got to make a roof, then you got to make a window. So it's not no manifestation or law of attraction. No, I'm talking about opening your mind to be thinking about other ways of doing stuff. So think about how can you add value to the company, to the industry. Don't even think company, forget that. Think industry. Because all of the companies work in the industry. So think, how can you add value to the industry? And when I started doing that, that's when I started making reference videos and started doing this and started doing that. It is long and it is time consuming, but it leaves an essence of what you're trying to do. So think from that perspective. How can I add value to the industry I want to work in? And that's what I did. At first, I was thinking for myself. I was thinking, okay, how can I add value as an actor? First, I said, okay, what can I do that other black actors are not doing? Because, yeah, we do have the labels, black actor, Caucasian actor, Asian actor, male actor, female actor. So I said, what can I do that I'm doing as a black actor? Then after that, I said, what can I do that no other actor is doing? No other actor. And I looked at things. I said, yep, no other actor owns their own pairs of arm extensions. No other actor is doing workshops. No other actor has their own XN suit. No other actor this, that. And I looked at all the things that, no, there's no point me just thinking about what just a black actor, what other no actor actors are doing. And again, it's not about, oh, I'm just trying to look like I'm better than everybody else. No, I'm trying to put myself in a position where I'm so valuable, where you think, we need to go to him. We need to go to him. And it's not the case all the time, but I'm trying to put that idea out there. When I worked on set, every time I work on set, I remember the first time I done Legend of Tarzan, and it was going to my first ever scene. And I always say to myself, I said, Ace, you need to make sure they remember who you are, and you need to stand out without trying to step on anybody's toes. You need, exactly. And that's how I think. And I think from that mindset. And that mindset is not closed, where I want to say the same thing to Robin, like, Robin, this, and he'll come back with me with this. It's not, oh, I'm going to do everything, and then I don't need a team because I want to do everything myself. No, I need a team. If it wasn't for Robin and some of the people around me, there's certain things I wouldn't even be able to do. So don't get caught up thinking it's all you, because there is no empire without a team. Every company that you want to work for is a team of loads of people. So don't get caught up like, I don't want to share this. No, I can't. No. You might find some people that are mean, and some people that want to take from you. You just have to weed them out and find out who is who. I've found my team. I'm happy. There's 4 of us. I can get performers. I can get VFX people. I can get all of that. But my 4 core people, I trust them with everything. Trust them. Take their ideas in, take their feedback in. Hey, can you go and do that while I'm on this? Because guess what? If I'm just one person and I got 2 jobs coming up, I can't work on both. So then someone else takes it. When I've got a team, I can be like, Robin, you go over there, I go over there. All right? So let's go in further in it. Add value to the industry you're working in. Add value. 2, create work that enables others in the industry to produce greater work, helping others. When I'm creating the reference videos, I don't need the reference videos for myself. apart from the content it creates. But I'm creating those videos so one of you guys who are animators or so can look at that video and do some keyframe animation. So I'm giving out content for free. And I've had people, hey, so you should charge for this, you know. You should charge for it. No, I don't need to. I don't need to. Because guess what? Whoever uses these videos, when they are on the job in something in relation to the type of video I made, who you think they're gonna call to come and be the actor for it? So put videos out there. Put stuff out there that helps other people to do their work. They will. They've been calling me. God damn it. God damn it. So, I love the fact that you're getting involved. I appreciate it. And that doesn't mean I'm not telling you not to get involved. No, let me just say that all again, right? Doesn't say that. Okay. Go against your stereotype. Do what others won't expect from you and your kind. Okay, let me break this one down a little bit more. I'm going to tell you guys this, yeah? This is more personal. This is more personal thing, all right? I grew up in some of the toughest parts in London, all right? And myself used to be involved in street and gang crime. Like, I used to be in it. Left home at 15, everything. Used to sell drugs, all of the stuff. Ended up going to prison, and I spent 4.5 years in prison from when I was 2007 to 2012, all right? And when I came out, I always knew I wanted to be an actor. I always knew. I said, hey, even with this criminal record, I'm still going to do what I do. I don't care. And I had a chip on my shoulder. I'm going to still make stuff happen. Now, I could have easily been an actor that does what the stereotype is. And the stereotype easily for me is to be in someone like Top Boy. Easy. I could play Top Boy. Easily. I'm tattooed, fully tattooed. All over my body, I'm tattooed, everything. I've lived that life. I know that life. I've been around that people. I could have easily just been an actor that's just, you know, stereotype, playing that. Yo, welcome. What you say, fam? Easily. I said, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. So when I done Tarzan, and I said, oh my God, people play this stuff. Again, before that, I was looking to be an action actor because, again, there is no main black action actor. If you look at it now, all the roads just go to Idris. No, for real. All the roles in the UK that is action that needs a black actor just goes to Idris. We don't have our own martial artists. We don't even, our closest is Jason Statham. That's the closest thing. Outside of that, we don't have any. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be an action actor. That's me. I'm going to use my martial arts, use my stunt skills to be an action actor. Then when I discovered the whole creature stuff, I said, no. I said, no, this is where I'm going. So when I create videos and content, and this is where psychology kicks in, because I done a lot of self-studying in psychology because I really wanted to know myself as an individual. I read books, YouTube videos. When I came out of prison, I said, like, for the first 2-3 years, I never listened to no rap music, no nothing. All I done was listen to stuff like Power of the Mind, psychology, the 2 brain hemispheres, left brain, right brain, neuroscience, quantum physics, because I really wanted to understand myself. Because how can I know what my phone does more than I know what my mind does, and my heart does, and my liver, and my pancreas? How can I know all of these things more than the thing that keeps me alive? So I done some self-studying. And this is why I understand branding is so, I understand it because I now understand how you might have to influence somebody in order to gain what you want. And you use that as part of branding rather than as manipulation. When you understand it, you can use it to manipulate people, or you can use it to influence people in a way that you need to in order for you to work well and do good. So I understood, okay, if I do this creature stuff and everything and they look at me, they won't really expect it. Whereas if I was Mr. Flexible and everything like that and I was doing contourist and I'd done it with equipment, it'll look great, but it's more expected. If I told you I went circus for 10 years, you can understand it. But if I tell you that, you know my life story, that I was in the streets running around and now I'm doing all this creature stuff, because the only thing that I really kept to before all of that was my dance. I loved breakdance and body popping. It was the one thing that made me feel whole. When I was growing up, the one thing that made me feel whole was my body popping and breakdancing. It's the only thing. But when I was growing up, people used to look at that as a weakness. Or what, you want to dance? You're soft. So I had to hold that in with myself and become somebody that I didn't want to be, but in order to protect myself, because my mom didn't have the money to just move out of the area. But I used to always go to my dance class. In school, break, lunch, after school, before school, breakdancing, body popping, breakdancing, body popping. So when I found Creature, it's like I was finally using my dance, because I didn't want to be a dancer. I didn't want to be no backup dancer. I never wanted to be that. Behind, where everybody else is in the front, nah. So when I found Creature, it's like I'm using my movement, my dancing, and the actor in me. So when I do movements and put videos out, it's gonna stand out a little bit more than it would than somebody that looks like they're doing it. So that's why I say go against your stereotype. So what that means is what you look like, we all have a stereotype, we all judge. We have to. It's the brain's way to survive. If you was walking down the street, everyone could be like, oh, well, we don't really judge. Listen, if you was walking down the street and 10 people were masked up, walking like this, you go and judge and be like, okay, I might have to move out of the way and not be in that safe. You have to, because the brain uses judging as a way of survival. We want to survive. So figure out what people might judge you by, figure out what your stereotype might be, and switch it. And create content from that. I'm not saying yes, the only thing you do, but when you do that, there's a chance it's going to stand out because they never expect it. All right? That's 3. Keep thinking outside and away from the box. So how do I explain this? So instead of, like I said, instead of emailing all of these companies, instead of just sending messages on LinkedIn, I said, let me create content that nobody else is creating. So think outside the box, because there is a box, think outside of it. Okay? Think outside of it. Do some stuff that's in the box, meaning we call the box the generic thing that we do generically. Like, I'm not going to tell you, never send an email to a company. No, do that. But when you send the email to the company, make sure that you have stuff that when they look at your thing, they'll be like, yeah, we need that guy because he's got more stuff that's coming for him. Don't just email him. I'm not going to tell you after you finish university, don't email. I'm just saying, think about before you send that email, have you got all the things ready? And are they going to want you for what you're doing? Because loads of people are going to be doing what you're doing. So that's what I mean when I say think outside the box. 5, go left when everybody's going right. Same kind of thing. Do something different that everybody else is doing. Do something different. All right? You could be, what's the difference? What could be different for somebody in VFX? Okay, it could be that person in VFX. And again, there's only a small amount of people doing it. You saved all your money. You decided you're going to buy your own suit. You're going to buy your own little Rococo suit. So you buy your own Rococo suit. You do a whole scene between you and 2 people. And when you present it, you're the actors as well. Oh, you've done all the lighting. Oh, you've done the environment. You're not an actor, are you? No, but oh, wow. You've done all of that. There's a few people that actually do it now. And their channel is crazy. So that's what I'm saying. When you go outside the box and you go left compared to what everyone else is doing, there's a chance higher for you to stand out. All right? Create your own category within the industry you're in. So, Creature Bionics, I create my own category. There is no character production company that focuses on creatures and fantasy character performance. You can go and look and search. I created my own category. Again, I'm not saying that, this is an ego boost, but what I'm saying is, because I have, it makes it easier for people to want to come to me. It's like Third Floor. If you've heard of Third Floor is a previous company. My favorite company, that their model I love so much. They are the best or number 1 previous company in the world. I've never worked on a production where I've not seen the previous. It doesn't come from Third Floor. Doesn't come from them. They created that category of companies doing previs. They created it. Now, other companies do it, but they created it. And because they created it and they created it at such a scale, why do you think they're always going to remain as number 1? So when you create your own category, if you can find one, you're basically like the godfather of that category or the godmother because you created it. Whether people come after you and do better, you should be happy. If people come after you to do better, don't be jealous. You found something that now is going to live long in the industry because you created that category. All right? Give away some of your work and knowledge for free, very similar to helping others. Don't be one of these people where it's like, I don't want to tell nobody because if I tell them, they're going to be able to do more stuff. And no, don't be that. Thank you. Give, because it comes back around. it comes back around. Trust me, it comes back around. It comes back around. Don't be one of these people where you feel like, oh no, I don't know. Because guess what? If no one decided to build a university and someone to run these courses, or someone decided to give like grants and stuff, and everybody was like, no, your family needs to be able to pay for you full time, and that's it. There's a lot of us. There's a lot of us that wouldn't have been able to be in certain positions. There's a lot of us that wouldn't be able to be in certain positions. Even this whole careers week, they don't really have to do it. It's not mandatory for a university to do a careers week. Like, oh, we have to make sure we have to get these people. It's something that somebody started and then somebody else started, and now they're doing it for the benefits of you guys. Because whether you guys go off to make millions of pounds or not, they don't cater from it. Apart from saying that person came from us. So they don't have to. But these things are what things are, because you don't know who's going to be on stage and who you're going to meet to that inspires you. That's what I'm saying. Don't hold it all in. Share. I'm not saying give away all your source. Keep a little for yourself. But don't be one that's like, oh, I can't do that. All right? Learn from others who have walked the path before you. This is just like, for me, it's like, you ain't going to be where you are without people before you. It's just facts. Like, as much as I've created whatever I've created, if I didn't see Andy Serkis, if I didn't see people doing all of these kind of things, my brain wouldn't have thought of certain things. So there's already models out there that you can copy and learn from in order to create. So the same way that they've created and you've learned, because all of you want to do whatever you're doing because you saw somebody else do it first, use the model. Take from that. Take a pinch of this. Take a pinch of that. Take a pinch of this. Take a pinch of that. Then create your own. But be grateful for those that came before you. I'm never going to stand here and be like, I've done this all by myself and nobody did it. No. No, I'm not that person. So even if you do create something yourself, be grateful for those who are before you. Give thanks to them and be grateful for where you are, because they influenced you in some form of way. But the model is out there for you to learn. Okay? Number 9, promote the F out of your niche. When you find what you believe is your gold, put it out there. Do not be afraid to put it out there. Yeah, you might be uncomfortable with speaking on camera. You might be uncomfortable with social media. You might be uncomfortable being in events where there's people that you need to. You need to step out your comfort zone if you want to be able to make things happen. You need to step out your comfort zone if you want to be able to make things happen. Okay, you have to. I'm not telling you this stuff because I want to bore you with information. If you just go and look at anybody that's doing at the top of the career that you think that you would like to be like, at the very pinnacle point, and you go and check their stories, they've all got stories. You've all here got stories. You've all got personal stories. Every single one of you. Every single one. Yeah, I might have gone to prison and whatever, but you all got personal stories. Every single one of you. And I always tell people this: the harder the journey, the more inspiring the story. All right? So if your story is hard, think about the people that you're inspired by. Are you inspired by the person that was born with everything? Everything was handed to them. As soon as they came out the womb, it was everything. Or are you inspired by the person that had nothing, got it, lost it, and now they know what to do with it? You're inspired by the person that goes through the craziness. That's who we're all inspired by. When you look at the people that people look at as inspirational people, Muhammad Ali, all of these kind of people. Why? It's not because they were just the greatest boxer. Anthony Joshua is the great boxer. But it's because the story of that individual. All right? So the harder the journey, the more inspiring the story. So don't think that your time ain't going to come, because it will come. But if you don't believe in it, why should I? Why should anybody? Okay? So promote yourself. Don't expect other people to promote you. Don't be one of these people like, oh, strangers support your work more than my friends do. I hear that all the time. I'm like, listen, your friends are your friends for particular things. Your business and your art is not a charity. You want customers, clients. I don't need my friends doing my call. None of my friends are going to buy my arm extensions. What are they going to do with it? What are they going to do with my arm extensions? I don't need them to buy it. This is my business, not a charity. So don't be one of those people like, oh, my friends, oh, they don't really support me, it's strangers. No. You're trying to sell yourself as a business. And it comes down to the last one. Make yourself an asset. You're not a product, you're an asset. You understand what I'm saying? An asset is something people invest in order to get and create and make from. You're an asset. See yourself as an asset, not as a product, not as a service. See, I got my right-hand man just there, you know. Y'all ain't even ready for this, man. We ain't even ready. See yourself as an asset. Yeah? You are an asset. All right? You are an asset. And people, because guess what? You want someone to pay you for your service, and your service is going to make that thing better. So you have to be an asset. Because if you ain't an asset, then why should I invest in you? Because people are going to invest in you in order for you to do more. So you need to see yourself as an asset, not as a product or a service. Because guess what? When you're a product, how many new products have you guys bought in the years? Trainers is a product. Your computer is a great product, but guess what? You're going to buy another one soon, but you are an asset. So see yourself like that. And I'm telling you this, guys, I'm going to tell you this now. If you do not believe in you, why the hell should anybody else believe in you? You can only give what you are. So if you base your skills because people are like, oh my God, you're so great, you should do this. Oh my God, you're so great, you should do this. The moment that these people turn around and say, nah, that wasn't good still. Nah, that was rubbish. Oh yeah, you're gonna crumble. You're gonna crumble. But when you believe in your art, I'm not saying it may not affect you when the people you love don't agree with it. Because there's some people that are in the industry and their parents probably be like, oh, that's not proper. That's not a proper job. That's not a proper job. Go be a lawyer and a doctor. Oh, jeez. But if you believe in your art, then you're doing it for you. And you know what normally happens when you make it? Your parents are like, damn, I was wrong. Oh, sorry. Do you understand? Because they're just fearful that they don't think because of their programming. Let me just say this to you. Because of their programming and their lifestyle, they can't see how what you're doing is going to help you to survive. So they're not just telling you that because they don't want you to do it. It's because from their lifestyle and what they experience, that doesn't work in their circle, in what they think needs to be done. So that's why they might come from that mindset. But then that shouldn't stop. I'm not going to say it shouldn't stop you because it's hard not to continue when you have your parents or people you love telling you, nah. But trust me, if you believe in you and you make it happen, you will make them see and change their mind, because most people operate out of fear. That's why you can't always take advice from people, because most people advice, I'm going to tell you this now, most people advice comes from them seeing themselves in that position, and they can't see themselves doing it. So if they can't see themselves doing it, they're not going to be able to see you doing it. That's why you shouldn't always just ask for people's advice. If you're going to ask people for advice, ask them advice from people that are in a better position than you, that are in a position where you want to be or have that openness. Okay? Because most people's advice is going to come from what they see themselves being able to do. Not many of your friends or everybody will be like, no, you can definitely do it, 100%. And again, it's not their fault because that's their programming. That's what they understand. So guys, I'm going to save the last 15 minutes so you guys can ask any questions if you do or you don't want to. Okay, but before I do that, again, guys, I just want you to look at it as understanding that you are the asset. Whether you're doing VFX, whether you're doing animation, whether you decide to come over to the actor side, whether you decide to go around to be on the camera, maybe you decide to start your own company, maybe you want to work for the company, whatever you want to do, you are the asset. You have to believe in that asset. How do you believe in that asset? By the work you put in. The more work you put in is the more you're going to believe in that asset. The more work you put in is the more you're going to believe in that asset. Not just on the work, but on yourself as well. yeah, on yourself as well. Listen, I do workshops, and whoever's going to do my workshop this afternoon when we do creature character development, you're going to see what I mean. I do a workshop, every workshop I do this with 16-year-olds, I do this with 30, 40-year-olds, and I ask them to tell me 2 positive things about themselves, and they struggle. They find it hard to say, I am a great person, and the reason why I'm a great person because I've gone through so much things in life, I recognize what's the goods and not. People find it hard to struggle to say 2 things about themselves. And you might be sitting there thinking, I'll be able to do it. When you're on the spot and people are watching you, and people go, I think I... No. And that gives an indication of how much you actually focus on yourself. Because we're all just trying to go... Okay, I need to earn money. I need to do this. I need to do that. Oh, yeah, I need this. Relationships. All right? So I want you to just take time to look at you. See yourself as an asset. See yourself in the art that you're able to create. And recognize that you have a place. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, I leave the questions.
Okay,
So, yeah.
So we've only got a short amount of time to get some questions in
about 15
because
minutes?
yeah, well, the next one's kind of getting ready
for
outside.
12. Oh,
So,
sorry.
so we've only got like time for a few questions. Kibi, I can see your hand, man. I know you're there. But yeah, that was a fantastic talk. Definitely one of the best I've seen in a long time. Kibi, you have a question? You were first up, but is there any other questions in the room? There's a handful. Cool. I'll get around to as many as you ever can, but we need to get our lunch order in for Ace and Robin and get ready for the next talk. And obviously you've got an interview that's coming up in a minute to have a chat with you. Cool. So Kibi, go.
Okay. How would you link motion capture and creature design into other areas of the VFX pipeline?
So how do I connect it? Again, so there's the different parts of pipeline which could be for virtual production. So virtual production, there's something that I didn't play it, but we done a virtual production event where we use mocap and we use virtual production, a VP stage, and we connected the mocap in the scene of the environment that was created through Unreal, and we were able to use the realistic movement and performance of the creature and apply it to the VP, which then gave the audience a realistic view of what was really going on. So you can do it that way, as well as, again, referencing. So what I did yesterday, where I took my mocap suit and I used it on the set, which is gonna be a VFX bear, and they can use that animation with their VFX in order to create the bear in the actual real space on set. So that's how I would say for that one.
All right, we've got a question over here from Toby.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about the so you got the live streaming on in your Unreal project. I just wanted to know how sort of you set that up and what kind of is the pipeline in setting that up. Or if you don't know, maybe
No,
you
I do
don't
know. So all right. So with XSense, because it depends on what system you use, but with XSense, the plugin, there's a plugin called Live Link plugin, and you have one for the XSense. And then because you have to have with XSense, you have to have their software as well. So what it is, in fact, I can just quickly run through it quickly with you right here. So, you got this. So here, XSense, I have this here. This is operating through this here, and then the network streamer. From the network streamer, I go into Unreal, and I open up the window, go to Virtual Production Live Link, and you can see it, the source is coming straight from MVN. And that then now means that it's streaming straight into Unreal. And then from there, you would have to retarget the mocap onto the character, which again is not a crazy long process, but there's videos. If I went through it bit by bit, we might be here for a little bit. But there's videos online that just show you that. And everything that I do here, I learned from XSense having videos, as well as other people that are kind enough to put content online for me to watch. But it streams from my software, XSense software, into Unreal via a link, and that's it.
All right, we've got a question from Lewis as well.
I've just got a question about the digilegs and the rigs and stuff. Do you create and prototype those in-house, or do you get those contracted out to a different manufacturing company?
So I have an engineer who literally can basically make anything. It took me years to find him. So I give him an idea. I said, look, this is what I think I want to do. This is what I want. So in fact, those digilegs that you saw, they're a version, a modified version. So there's a company called DigiLegs that makes something very similar, and I said we need to modify this to make it more performance friendly and more ready for motion capture. So there's like the spring load at the bottom, you can stand still, so we've done that. And then we've got our own versions with the tail, and normally I just give him an idea, I say, look, this is what we need, and then I obviously pay him, break my bank, and then we'll test it, and then anything that I feel that needs to change for a performer, we go to work on it. So I never have anything done without testing it, because I'm always thinking from the performer, like how safe is it? How easy is it to use? And if it doesn't work, if it doesn't tick these boxes, then it's not usable.
And we've got a question from Michael over here.
Have there been any creatures that you have wanted to mocap but haven't gotten around to yet?
It probably would be more like, is there jobs that I want to do that I haven't done yet? Probably more that, because realistically, the only things that I want to mocap for myself that I have done but haven't finished yet is my own models being made. So like that model that someone made, I only contacted them this week and said, look, can you give me the model? I'm gonna go get it rigged. I'm gonna go put everything in it. Because so far I've been rigging stuff that's already pre-made. So I really wanted to like rig my own things that have been made for myself or made for me. So I've got that one, then I've got someone building me a whole complete rig from concept art to everything. It just costs quite a lot. But yeah, so that's it. But film-wise, the only film that's left on my list that I want to do that I haven't done yet is Jurassic Park. It's the only one. So yeah.
Which kind of links to my question.
Yes.
So the peripherals, the digilegs, the arm extenders, and the tail. With the tail specifically, is that actively sort of pinging out data? Can you make it do that, or is it largely for balance for you to perform?
Nah, that's because it's carbon fiber. It weighs like 3 kg. So it's easy, and then we put markers onto it. So that's why it's the optical setup. So they wouldn't work with XNs because
Yeah, I think I was talking to Robin about it earlier about how these things sort of work with each other. But that makes
so
sense.
everything. So XNs, Rococo, inertia suits are more like targeted for biped stuff, human stuff. I can get away with arm extensions because you're just extending the arms. But anything now where I'm off the ground or it's like an extent off the body, the system, when you put the markers there for these things, it won't read it. So if I put my hip onto a tail, it will think that, okay, my hip is really extended out. So that's why with optical, you can put the markers on them, and then they have to create the solve for it. And once they create the solve, you're good to go.
Just add it all together, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any questions? Any last questions? Or is that it? The blank faces would suggest it. Oh, no, there's one more.
With Rococo and XNs, are you in any talks with getting what you're doing with the Creature Bionics linked up with them?
Yes, yes. So because I'm an ambassador for XNs, they came one time. In fact, that picture of Robin was when they came to us, and they came and asked me what they think they could do to improve the software. And I just basically said, if they could make the software more run like it's optical, so instead of having the wires, you can have it, because they have a system where it straps but still reads as biped. So if they could have the same kind of quality with this, and you're able to place them in positions like you do in optical, and that you're able to go in their software and change it to know that it's not human, and that, okay, we can adjust it, then that means I could be able to bring my DigiLegs here and give you a full live preview, whereas I can't give no full live preview without being an optical setup. So yeah, hopefully they take that information in, because I just basically said to them, everyone so far is thinking of biped, but creatures are very important for the industry. So hopefully they take that information and they run with it. Thank you.
Okay, that's it. We've got the next talk definitely sort of getting ready to come in. So can we have one massive thank you for Ace and Robin? Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So we're going to go and get...